Hey guys, I have been experimenting with Vaal Double Strike and a very long skill effect duration. Unfortunately, I tried to mix two things that don't really mix well together. So look at this as just a build idea and not build presentation, or even better, just results of experiment. So the main idea that I want you to focus on and not the other part of the build, the main idea is to use Vaal Double Strike and have such a long skill effect duration that you could summon many Vaal Double Strike clones. And I was able to summon up to 12 Vaal Double Strike clones, but for a very short duration. Usually it goes only about 6 to 8 clones. So here are a couple things about Vaal Double Strike. You can store up to 2 charges, and with each charge you can summon 2 clones. Maybe summon is not the right word because they are not considered as minions and do not benefit from usual minion nodes and minion support gems. By default, clones last 6 seconds, and Vaal Double Strike has 6 seconds soul gain prevention. The only way to reduce the soul gain prevention is to use Soul Catcher Flask or Soul Ripper Flask, but Soul Ripper Flask costs 60 Exiles. So I decided to focus on skill effect duration. And that also means I'm using String of Servitude belt with 45% increased skill effect duration. And there are 3 Ascendancy classes that have skill effect duration on the Ascendancy nodes: Necromancer, Scion Necromancer, and Trickster. So I took Trickster. My Vaal Double Strike is also linked with increased duration support, and I took both skill effect duration wheels near the Scion. So currently my Vaal Double Strike clones last 19 seconds. It is possible to get even more skill effect duration. Azir's Rain unique jewel gives up to 20 skill effect duration, and you can use 2 of them. There are a couple more unique items that can give skill effect duration, but it is harder to fit them into your build. Instead you could use Elder Boots with up to 15% increased skill effect duration. Is it worth investing so much into skill effect duration? I don't know, it's up to you. Obviously you do lose damage because you are focusing on skill effect duration and use certain items that could have damage instead. But if you were only to use it for mapping and for map clear, I think that skill effect duration is better because you don't really need that much damage, and I probably would not recommend building around Vaal Double Strike skill effect duration for bossing, because you will still need to charge up your Vaal Double Strike, because for fights like Shaper you won't have any enemies to kill and charge it up, or you would have to hit the boss multiple times to charge up the Vaal Double Strike. Another example, Elder fight. It is pretty difficult to charge up the Vaal Double Strike just by hitting Elder, and the enemies from the portal do not give souls. So the only way to charge up the Vaal Double Strike is to hit portals, and that obviously has some cooldown. I mean cooldown for soul generation, and by the time you charge up your Vaal Double Strike, the boss will most likely be nearly dead. So what's the point of using Vaal Double Strike then? Now this build is a bad example because, like I said at the start, I focus on 2 things, or at least I experimented with 2 things, which is bleed using Starforge and no auras with blood magic as well, and long skill effect duration for Vaal Double Strikes. And that do not go well together because I'm taking a lot of bleed nodes which don't really benefit the Vaal Double Strike. So my Vaal Double Strike end up having kind of bad single target damage, but they are used for clear speed mostly, and my cleave applies strong bleeds which I use for single target, but as you know, bleed is also kind of bad. I will include the path of building import code in video description if you want to check all the numbers and other stuff. But my general recommendation, if you wanna try build Vaal Double Strike with long skill effect duration, probably just use dual wield, one weapon with very high physical damage and another stat stick with extra damage as fire, lightning, cold, chaos, and then use 2 auras, or 1 aura and 1 herald. That way you would have more flexibility and more overall ways to scale your damage. Oh, another quick thing about Vaal Double Strike. They kind of do not proc Hemophila gloves unless enemies would die from the bleed and not from the hits. Also, I have tried using Essence Crafted boots which drop Burning Ground, which deals 2500 fire damage per second while moving, but they also do not copy that. Oh, I probably should have mentioned this, but general map clear strategy using Soul Catcher Flask is you want to charge 2 charges and then use them at the same time. That way you will only have to wait for Vaal Double Strike soul gain prevention only once. And before using Vaal Double Strike, always use Soul Catcher. And as you can see, I have 2 Soul Catcher Flasks because I try to maintain Soul Catcher Flask up all the time. And that's about all. I will not be finishing this build, but I kind of want to, well, make a proper bleed build, just to see if the bleeds are really that bad as people say, because I have a feeling that they are not that bad. On my current shitty build, I can reach 160,000 shaper DPS with bleed. That is with 8 bleed stacks. And if I focus more on bleed damage and use different weapons, I feel like I would be able to get even more damage. But my next build is gonna be Assassin with Firestorm. Not sure if that's gonna end up well or not, because it may have the same issues as Ice Storm. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you after the start of the flashback event.